Joining us now is Andrew Eborn, barrister and broadcaster, and of course, president of Octopus TV. It is so wonderful to see you. Thank you for joining us again.
Always a pleasure, Gabriella. The highlight of my week.
Mine too. Let's talk about what is going on in the UK, where Prince William and Prince Harry were just kilometres away from one another as they paid separate tributes to Queen Elizabeth on the third anniversary of her death. Now, the Prince of Wales opened up about the cheeky antics of his younger son, Prince Louis, at the Federation of the Women's Institute. And at the same time, Prince Harry was touching down at Heathrow Airport from all the way from California, and he, of course, laid a wreath and flowers at his late grandmother's grave in St George's Chapel at Windsor Castle. Andrew, they were so close, but no meeting, of course.
Oh, I know. So close and yet so far. Less than 10 miles. Elizabeth, Britain's longest reigning monarch, she died aged 96 on September the 8th, 2022. It was the third anniversary. She died at Balmoral Castle, as you know. And basically, they honoured her separately. So Prince William and Kate went along and honoured the Queen visiting a women's institute, which is very key to Her late Majesty's heart. She basically cherished them for over 80 years. And she'd also been president of the branch near her Sandringham home in eastern England from 2003 until her death. Prince Harry, in the meantime, he went to Windsor Castle, where I'm going to be next week with a certain visit. But no meeting was expected between the brothers, even though it's only 10 miles away. And as I always say, Gabriella, it is a real shame because Her Majesty and indeed Diana would have absolutely loved for the brothers to be back together.
Of course, of course. Now, Prince Harry has made a veiled reference to the challenges thrown our way in a major speech at the annual Well Child Awards. Harry used the speech to commend the courage of the children with complex medical needs before also touching on his own challenges. Andrew, what do you make of this?
Well, it's one of these sort of sly digs, isn't it? Shakespearean elements going on here. Harry was at this Well Child event, which he's been going to for the last several years, and he was speaking about how challenging relationships between siblings are at this glitzy charity bash. He basically joked and laughed with some seriously ill children at the Well Child Award, and it marks his 4-day event here in the UK. And he was talking to somebody called Declan Bitmead, who's 17, who was the winner of the Inspirational Young Person 15 to 28-year-old award, about his family and his brother. And Harry said, "Does he drive you mad?" And Declan replied, "No, we get on fine." Harold said, "Well, you know what, siblings." So he clearly worked on that sort of basis. He was also told they went to the same school. And Harry said, "Well, you're at the same school. That makes it more challenging." So clearly the references between the ongoing feud between Harry and William, every opportunity. But if only they were, you'll also see some glorious footage of Harry fighting with some of the children with balloon swords. Well, I think it's more the dagger in the back of his brother on this particular event.
That certainly sounds like it. Now, of course, Meghan Markle is not in the UK, but her family drama continues to haunt her long after her royal exit. In 2022, the Duchess of Sussex estranged half-sister Samantha Markle sued Meghan Markle for allegedly defaming her in multiple interviews, including that 2021 tell-all with Oprah Winfrey. Now, the case was dismissed in 2024, but she's appealing the dismissal, so of course fighting back against Meghan. What can you tell us about this?
Well, you're absolutely right. It's this sad defamation, as though we had one family tragedy, would be too many. We've now got two, and Meghan and her ongoing fight with her half-sister and her father continue to dominate the headlines. Basically, during that wonderful, famous, I say wonderful, that interview, that infamous interview with Oprah, she said, quite. "I grew up as an only child, and you're telling people you raised me. I don't remember seeing her when I was a kid at my house, even when they would come round." Samantha's alleging the statements basically was about hateful misinformation. She's saying that it's defamatory. The court in the first instance said, "Well, look, there's not enough combined to make it a defamation case." So they threw it out with what's called with prejudice, and so you couldn't come back. She's appealing her right to do it. And she basically is saying that she's being portrayed as a lying right-wing racist fame seeker who's out to harm Meghan and capitalise on that harm caused. And the reality is this, is that the more you get this feud being fought out in courts, the more those allegations tend to stick. And so you're getting exactly that sort of basis. The headlines are reporting it, but the ongoing saga, yet another chapter with more megalomania. They're going to dig out all of those insults. They're going to keep referencing the with love Meghan. Well, I can tell you there's no love lost between those two.
Absolutely not. Now, Prince Andrew's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein is causing another headache for King Charles, and this is as he prepares to host a state dinner with US President Donald Trump. Now, Prince Andrew is reportedly off the guest list at Windsor Castle. Now, Andrew, that is a smart decision, I would say.
A very smart decision, I think, with all sorts of files being released at the moment and people being associated around the world, obviously associations, some of which those people are denying. But clearly, Prince Andrew is no longer a serving royal. The president is going to be coming over here. The first time a president has come for the second term. Normally what happens for the second term, the king and queen, the monarch, invite them round for a cup of tea. But he's having yet another state banquet. It's being held in Windsor Castle. I'm actually going to be over the road. There's going to be an event there, and we're hoping that the president might pop in and say hello and says how much he enjoys my little section on your show.
Oh,
Gabriella. But I will be in Windsor at the time. Sort of, no doubt it was on same time next week. I can report on what's going on there. But the reality is exactly that. Prince Andrew is not on the guest list. It's too embarrassing. He wouldn't be there because he's no longer a serving royal anyway. And I'm sure that President Trump will be won't necessarily miss Prince Andrew this time.
No, I think you're right there. Look, finally, Buckingham Palace has announced the funeral of the Duchess of Kent will be held at Westminster Cathedral on September 16, and of course the King and the Queen will be among senior royals who will be in attendance. But Andrew, this is going to be the first Catholic funeral for a member of the royal family in modern history, is that right?
No, absolutely. So Catherine, Duchess of Kent, she was a much loved royal. She died on September the 4th, and she was 92, and she died at Kensington Palace. She's going to have a requiem mass. It's the first Catholic. It's going to happen on September the 16th at Westminster Cathedral. It's the first royal funeral in modern history, reflecting her conversion. She had a conversion in 1994. It's unsure because Harry's over here at the moment. He may extend his visit and do that. We've had no reports yet that he's actually met with Charles. He has made announcements about big donations that he's made, including to the children in need, about £1.1 million, huge amount of money. So he's been doing that. I hope that he does stay for the funeral. He has got a sort of history for staying. Basically, the Duchess of Kent was, you might remember, at his marriage to Meghan Markle in 2018, and they were also the neighbours at Kensington Palace. So he clearly was close to her, and I very much hope that he will attend the funeral. But as you say, it is going to be the first Catholic funeral for some time, the first Catholic royal funeral, but a much-loved royal, and she's sorely missed.
Andrew Eborn, thank you so much for joining us on Power Hour. It is brilliant to speak to you as always. Looking forward to your reports next week.
Looking forward to it, Gabriella, as always.